Alright. 8 PM here in the UK. Good time to play some Arena, I think. Mage is pretty good right now. I think it's quite close between Mage and Warrior. Let's check the latest win rates. Oh, wow. So, Warlock's still number one, like by a significant distance, 53.4%. And Mage is second on 51.7%, and Warrior is exactly 50%. Mage is fun. I did well with Mage even before it got the slight buff, so I don't mind trying it again.
Into place.
So what we have here are two fundamental different approaches to the game. So the Kirin Tor Mage is really, really about raw stats. The 3 toughness can be a little bit awkward because it means it can trade with your opponent's 2 drops. But obviously, if you do get that secret with it, it's very good tempo play. The Arcane Dynamo is the other extreme. It's the control card for people who just want lots of board clears. You want meteors, flame strikes. I mean, you don't really want glacial secrets, but there's a lot of good cards, real powerful cards you can get from Arcane Dynamo. And sort of the Keysmith, I'd say that's like the mid-range card. It's not quite the control card, because it provides a little bit of tempo, but obviously doesn't put up a great board presence up there. But it slows your opponent down as they're trying to work out which secret it can be. So really, which one you go for is just down to your particular play style. I do think having some solid 3 drops is important. So I'm going to go with the Mage there, but I don't mind any of them being picked for whatever reason you like. Tyrant's not a terrible tempo card late game, but how often is it going to trigger? I mean, we might not get any spells that cost 5 or more. But it is an elemental, which has a little bit of benefit to it in that respect. A Tortoise, obviously, turn 3, really nice. Any other time, awful. And Acolyte of Pain is Acolyte of Pain. It's just a card draw card. So it's like the safe card to take there. Oh, wow, a Deathwing. I think you always take Deathwing here. It's just far too ridiculous a card. It's gonna win you games you otherwise lose, which neither of the other 2 cards are capable of doing, unless of course you get a Deathwing from Toki Time Tinker. Basically, Deathwing is completely unfair as a card. Your opponent can outplay you in every way, shape, or form. And then you've just got the I win button afterwards. You're just like, well, lol. Good game. Silence is pretty important. I think some of the time, if you want to go far, having that silence will really help you. Help you out against the paladins with their buffs. And lots of other nice spots. Tar Creeper and Shimmering Tempest, both ridiculous, but I just like the Spellbreaker there. Obviously, taking a worm if it's offered to me. Mirror Entity to go with our Kirin Tor Mage. It's not the worst. It's quite easy to play around. Like, it's the secret that everyone plays around first. But, like, late game, when, you know, when everyone's sort of got, like, 1 or 2 cards in hand, if you play a mirror entity, it's really annoying for your opponents who's been holding that 8-drop for a few turns. Some bad picks, not really surprising. Oh, and a Swampoos. Always take the Swampoos when they're on offer. We really can't afford to pass them up. And yet more bad picks. So Dozing Marksman is really a 4-mana 4/3. Because you're going to ping it and it's going to wake up. It's going to be a 4/3. So obviously terrible stats. Toothy Chest is going to be garbage a lot of the time. Because there's quite a few rush cards. This is what's important to remember. There are quite a few rush cards. But Spellweaver might just allow us, you know, to get some cheeky spell off afterwards. I mean, they're all pretty bad, but I think this is better than the other two, really. Book of Spectres. Well, we've got a lot of creatures, and we're always going to have a lot of creatures. We've only got a mirror entity there. Mossy Horror's also awesome. I think this is a great card. I kind of think we're going to get some spells, so I'm going to take the Mossy there. I think, like, Mossy's just really solid in a lot of situations. And here we go with the high top tier stuff. Water Elemental or Stonehill Defender. Mage doesn't have a lot of devastating taunts like Paladin has. You know, if you do that as a Paladin, you're getting Tyrion. Or you're getting Sunkeeper Tarim. Mage, nothing really pops out there. You're basically hoping to high roll and get something like an Etin, something like that. Whereas Elemental fits into the 4 slot, solid card. And Bonfire Elemental fits in very nicely here as well. You know, Water Elemental into Bonfire. We've also got the Spellweaver. Sorry, not the Spellweaver. Did we not pick it up? No, we didn't pick it up. Yes, but there's definitely some more elementals we can pick up a bit later. Applebaum's okay. Half-time Scavengers okay. I think the 3 armor is pretty important in this game. We'll go with the slightly cheaper card there. Now again, we've got the Kirin Tor Mage, so maybe we just pick up a second mirror entity here. Not great. Just doing 1 damage to 3 targets. Steel Rage is solid. Cosmic Anomaly, 4 mana for a 4/3, so, you know, a little bit weak on the back end. The spell damage, not that we have anything to go with, but it does power up the Bonfire Elemental. I think the Steel Rage is too good to pass up, though. Now, this is real tough, because 5 Plume Phoenix, obviously ridiculous, but so is the second Water Elemental. I'm going to go with the Phoenix there. Interesting cube. Let's look at some of these 4-drops, because we've got a few 4-drops going on. I mean, if we can cube a Water Elemental, That's going to wreak a bit of havoc later. A second Violet Worm's also quite nice. And the worm also works well with old Deathwing there. If you play Deathwing with a damaged worm on the board. Getting a load of 1/1s afterwards against, well, nothing. I'm going to go with the cube there. We'll see how this one works out for us. Okay, so we've got, obviously, really good 2-drop, really good 3-drop. Reveal a spell from your deck? Well, we've only got Mirror Entities, so we can discount that. I mean, this kind of deck, you'd definitely think a second Kirin Tor Mage, right, with another Mirror Entity, but that is a very nice Blast Wave, and I suppose I am as well supposed to take the Sea Giant. Sea Giant's also pretty awesome. But we have a lot going on at 3 mana already. And I do like Blast Wave. I think another late game card. We've got a fair amount of early game, although we could do with a 2-drop, and Gastropod's great for that. I guess Sandbinder, We've got like a couple of elementals here. Got the water elemental, the phoenix, and the bonfire elemental. And both of the other 2 cards on offer are just really, really bad. Okay, I guess a 3rd Violet Worm doesn't hurt. Let's see if we can pick up some 2 mana cards to finish this off. Well, I was going to say 2 mana cards, and there's a Tar Creeper, which is very good. Again, an elemental, another card we can pull out with the Sandbinder, so it just makes a lot of sense. But we are going to take the Flame Geyser here. Again, it pulls out an elemental here and helps us out in the 2 mana spot. So we've got a lot going on at 4 mana. Swift Messenger would be... If this was like first pick, Swift Messenger would be like the automatic pick we take here. But because we've got a lot going on at 4 already, I'm going to take the former champ at 5. Another really solid 3-drop. 3 mana 3/4s are just like one of the most important cards in the game. Raven Familiar is always going to get a 3-drop here. Now this Mossbinder's interesting because potentially it can turn a former champ into a 6/6. We don't really have anything else, any sort of hangers on. Maybe the Sandbinder. You know, there's not really a whole lot of places to get any value from the Mossbinder at all. So maybe we're just picking up a Scale Hide here just for the rush, just to maybe deal 2 damage to something along with your hero ability or with 4 mana. Grizzly is very solid. Astromancer. Well, I mean, when we're playing Astromancer, we might have something like Violet Worm in hand, so it's maybe going to be 3/3, 4/4 a lot of the time. So we don't really have any board clears. We didn't get any Flame Strikes, any Blizzards. We've got the 1 Blast Wave, but we can't really rely upon it. I mean, it feels okay. Obviously, Deathwing's the big card, you know. Like, a lot of our games are going to be about just protecting our life total as much as possible, hoping to draw the Deathwing. Like, if we can get 15 cards into our deck, gives us a 50-50 chance. We got a bit of card draw there with the Bonfire Elemental, with the Acolyte of Pain.
Medivh versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Let the games begin.
Okay, so that's 3 elementals drawn already, but not the Bonfire Elemental. A little bit sad. This may force the opponent to coin, you know, they could coin like a 5-1 rush, something like that. Seems pretty bad, really. So, I mean, obviously we could deal 2 damage to this guy, or we could ping that guy. But I just prefer... making this guy. He's really awkward at turn 4 against an empty board.
Out of my jungle!
Ooh. Well, I was going to play the Stranglethorn Tiger, but this is just as good. So we've got our little elemental combo off there. We've drawn a card in a nice spot. We've maybe got Spellweaver with Breath of Sindragosa. I think maybe an on-curve Mossy Horror here, so even if he's got... Mirror Entity, it's not that bad for us. It turns out to be the best possible card for us there, Explosive Runes. So that kind of really ruined his day. So now we've got Spellweaver, Breath of Sindragosa for 4 damage to something if we need it.
A stranger will offer you aid.
Blast Wave. Well, you know, he's got like so many cards in his hand, but he's just not doing anything with them.
The future is now.
My hand is too full.
Someday I'll be
doesn't really help you, does it? So we went first, which really helped, but our opponent was also just slow. He just built a deck that was very good at drawing cards, but not very good at actually playing the cards you've drawn. You know, if you draw a card, it has no worth to you until the moment you played it. Once you played it, then it has a value to it. And he was there with 10 cards in hand, even overdrew at one point.
Medivh
What's the point in that?
Magni.
You're not going to win a game just by drawing cards.
Let the games begin.
Reasonable going first hand. You'll notice that very few people sort of are playing as many 2-drops as used to. Like, the game almost seems to start at turn 3 for a lot of people now.
A stranger will offer you aid.
Not the greatest 2-drop. Pretty poor, in fact, I'm going to say there. So we're looking for something to cube nicely here.
Who goes there?
I suppose we keep playing on curve here. Bit frustrating to drop this here, but I don't want him playing a weapon.
The future is now.
Okay, great cube value then.
Everyone has demons.
The future is now.
So we've got our Phoenix to go with the Bonfire Elemental. But it's not a great turn 6, turn 7 play because stuff like Amani Warbear and Worm that we want to do maybe turn 7, turn 8.
So many choices.
And we may be forced into an emergency blast wave. Okay, well, I think this does force our hand a little bit more there.
Here there is no light.
So I don't mind if he attacks the 3-3 here, doesn't bother me at all. Since we're getting up to the Super Collider region, I'm going to stick a little 1-1 in the middle. And we've got the War Bear for the Super Collider next turn as well to sort of hide things he might want to hit out to the
So many
side.
choices.
Drink with me, friend.
Doesn't really do anything, hurts his own guy about as much, really.
I'm burning up!
So we've got some great late game. We're putting lots of pressure on him.
Ash to ash.
Taking out the 2-3 face for 5's not a terrible option here. And then breath on the 3-6 to freeze it.
Flame on!
I mean, it sets up a lot of face damage the following turn. You know, 15 if he doesn't have a taunt.
So many choices. Ooh, the red one tastes like cherries.
So all we need to do now is make sure we don't play anything that can trade with the 8-8, right? Like this, well, even the Violet Worm doesn't really trade with it.
Flame on!
I'm not sure there's any elementals left, right?
Flame on!
The future is now!
It just makes it life harder for him if he's got a Super Collider. Not, I think he can afford to attack anything.
So many choices.
True, yeah. Two. Did I take 2 water element? I know I took at least 1. So he's hoping for a Deathwing, but he might be dead before he gets to play it. Like all the broken dragons are 9 mana and 10 mana. The 8 mana dragons, they're generally okay. Alexstrasza maybe keeps them in the game. I think that's 9 as well, isn't it? I'm not sure if he's used his coin or not.
Oh, you got me.
So it's just like, you go first, you have tempo, you keep tempo, you win. There was nothing else to that. I mean, I didn't have any fantastic tricks. But you can see how important, like, the Carnivorous Cube was on turn 5. Because it got us a couple of 3/4s that allowed us to smash through his dragon on turn 9. So just those little things are just keeping hold of the tempo. They just all snowball. So it's all about, with this deck, when you go second, whether it's any good or not. I think a lot of people have realised Mage is decent now, so 2 mages and a warrior. And we're going first again. A 2-drop. So, not a great hand. In a way, we've drawn all of our worst cards here. Breath of Cindergosa, Vicious Scalehide. And we don't really want the Spellbreaker turn 4 as well. That should be down there for something a bit more powerful, really. I mean, Breath doesn't really do anything here. It does allow this to trade here, but... I mean, this is a 4-drop, which, in theory, still trades with our 3-drop. He could have a way of healing it up afterwards. So we're just going to carry on playing the sort of the tempo play here. We've got a lot of late game we've still to draw, so hopefully we can get some of those cards in a bit.
You'll never see me coming.
Well, this is going to set up an... Oh, okay. He's going face. Awesome. Oh, that's not a bad draw either. So we've got a choice. We can do a Breath where it's a 50-50. Obviously, we want it to hit the 5-4. You basically ping the 2-1. Breath, hope to hit the 5-4, and then you can trade your 2-2 in. Or we can just play Spellweaver, throw the 2-2 at the 2-1. The 1-1s aren't really going to do that much. I like my shot at a 50-50, I think. Which we hit, because we are skillful. You know, I think if we take the other line, we just will lose the tempo and that'll be the end of the game. So this was like a risk we had to do in order to sort of maintain some tempo. Swing and a miss from him. Ooh, great draw. So now he has to ping the 5-1, unless he's got a meteor, which means that he's got 5 mana. Which doesn't leave him a whole lot to do. So we get to put our tempo sort of back on curve now, with the big worm on 8. We've got a spell breaker for his taunts. If we get really lucky, we draw the Mossy Horror. That's also not bad. Like, I don't really want to spell break and just force 7 damage in. Because it wasn't a big enough taunt. Like, if he plays a big Etin this turn, then yeah, I'll spell break that.
I bring life.
Crumble!
Spider senses tingling.
Are you ready for this?
Go into that.
So yeah, we won that one due to getting our Violet Worm when we needed it. I mean, we've got 3 Violet Worms, so you kind of expect to draw one by turn 8, because you've drawn 10 cards at that point, and there should be one in every 10 cards of your deck. Yeah, so we've only got the 1 Water Elemental.
Medivh versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
Let the games begin.
And we're finally going second. And it's a ropey one, so may struggle a little bit here. We're basically hoping to survive until we get to Deathwing, I think. Yeah, this is pretty weak stuff right now. That does help a lot.
Poke, pitchy, go!
I considered just pinging the 2-1. going to take the mechs out in case he has a way of magnetizing them.
We hear your heart.
Blast wave off the top of the deck. Not a blast wave. Makes me sad. So again, take out the mech. I think it's more important than taking out the beasts there. This is great for us because he's just wasted a sound the bells. Ooh, and there is Blast Wave. So, it's tempting to like go Steel Rage and other things, but I think the Stranglethorn Tiger is the best play here, because if he's got another buff, let's say he gives one of his guys +2/+6, then we can immediately spell break it and beat it up. And we've got our Deathwing.
Your magic shall not save you.
I think we're going to survive another 2 turns, right? I mean, we're pretty much playing Violet Worm next turn. So it's just about how much life we're going to be on and what kind of board showing.
You have no idea what I'm capable of.
Mirror Entity is not a bad thought because of Deathwing. Like, if you can have the Mirror Entity on the board and play a Deathwing at some point. But the play here is definitely involves the Violet Worm with Deathwing. And there is the Magnetize, what we were thinking about. Well, this clears that guy away.
Stranger will offer you aid.
So again, you can see how awkward it is going second. As long as he keeps trading though and continues to throw things out on the board.
Hey! Good tickets don't come cheap. We have many secrets.
works fantastically for me. Now he can't play anything else. So he, just with that one play, he's completely lost the tempo.
I hope you like my invention.
Oh, Swampoo's great draw. Yeah, I don't understand why he made that. That's just an awful play, Doomsayer.
Ooh, the red one tastes like cherries.
Reporting for duty.
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
Oh, if you're sure.
You think about how I was struggling. Yep, guess what? You're getting oozed. You are getting oozed.
Reporting for duty.
Try harder, man. Try harder, man.
Basically, he's gone from a position where it's very hard for him to lose to quite possibly actually losing. Oh, what a perfect card to draw right there.
Going to death!
I mean, this sets up Deathwing next turn, doesn't it? We put the 5/5 in a cube. He plays some stuff, I go Deathwing, get a pair of 5/5s afterwards.
Great show today, folks. It's all right.
Reporting for duty.
Feels good.
The victory is yours.
Instantly concedes. He's just like, yeah, you got me. So, I did not win that game. My opponent lost that game by playing Doomy Guy. Like, he had the tempo. He was making guys before me. He was doing things, and he just goes, "Oh, just make a 0/7 to trigger your mirror entity." I'm like, that is fine. This is what's meant to happen. I get to play stuff first now. Why he did that, I have no idea. And he'll probably look back at that game and go, "Oh, my opponent was really lucky. He had Deathwing." And it's like, no, I was really lucky that you played a 0/7 for no reason. Like, if you, I don't know, you play something else to possibly trigger the mirror entity and play the Doomsayer afterwards, then at least you get to play your stuff first on the next turn.
Medivh versus Anduin. The light shall bring victory. Let the games begin.
And we're going second again. Ravsun Runt. It's just not going to do anything, is it? Let's be honest, this card is not going to do anything. Tempted to keep the bonfire elementals. Quite a few elementals we can draw, and we do need like that really good body going second against priest. Well, let's chuck it as well. So this is going to be a really hard game for us to win, because we got 3 violet worms, and he could well have a mind control. If he mind controls violet worm, I think it's GG.
Not quite what was planned.
But we're doing what we have to do when we're going second. 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop. I don't like coining the Swampoos out here. Just wait a turn, play the Tangle Fur Mystic.
You are the Shadow's puppet.
Is someone injured?
Well, this is an issue. I guess we go Scavenger.
As long as it keeps out arrows.
Because we have to deal with the 2-2, and we've got the Spellbreaker for if he chucks a taunt up. Hopefully that goes left. Beautiful, absolutely perfect. Oh, even better.
It's mine.
Oh, lucky! Off the top of the deck, just the perfect card. Saving my Spellbreaker.
Tazdingo! Yes! I've got the beast in my sights.
So we've got 4 mana to play with here.
I sense your struggle.
There's one of the win more cards. A really bad card if you're not in a position to use it.
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
Tortola, preserve us!
Yep, and just mindless face damage. This is what they do when they run out of ideas. Yep, this does the job nicely.
Try harder,
So let's see if he's got mass hysteria. There it is, been in his hand the whole time.
better.
And he just gives up. Like, he didn't really have a plan. He was just like, I'm just going to smash him in the face. And he just didn't realise how good the trades I were getting to make were. And I was like, yeah, I'll quite happily take 15, 20 damage. And then you'll just have nothing. And even after you played the best priest card in Arena at the moment, Mass Hysteria, I'm still going to win. And this is the thing, you know, people, they go, oh, you know, well, Kriparian does this. He goes face all the time. He's the best player in Arena. And he is. But he's also smart. And he doesn't trade as badly as that. Or just ignores trades completely. He chose to lose that game. Again, I didn't do anything particularly special. I just took the play that was going to give him the most tempo at all times. And he just chose to lose just by pointlessly going face when he should be taking out some of my bigger guys.
I must protect the one. Let the games begin.
I don't want the runt going second. I'd much rather have a chance at drawing my mirror entity along with the guy that makes it free. So yeah, 2 of my wins have just been down to my opponents being really wad. 2 of my wins have been down to me going first. And the other one was actually an interesting game, I'd say. So I'm going to play the scale high. Ooh. Ooh. Well, there we go. I'm going to play the scale hide here rather than just ping his 1-1. I think having something on the board's just a little bit more important. And helps deal with his 1-1 the following turn. And puts me back up to 30 as well, which is nice. So he's got no 2-drops and no 3-drops in his hand, right? If he's got a 3-drop, he plays that there. So this mirror entity's really annoying for him.
We have many secrets.
So we don't want him to play the card he's just drawn. Yeah, his tempo's completely shot because of this now.
As long as it keeps
For
out
dollar
enemies.
He's desperately hoping to draw something cheap. Nothing's showing up and he's like, well, I guess I have to trigger the mirror entity.
The scourge will
And there you go.
devour all.
Finally he draws something that costs less than 4 mana.
Devour all.
For Dalaran.
It's mine!
So yeah, his terrible curve here, which probably just starts at 6 mana or 5 mana, has screwed him over. Yeah, he's probably got like 3 Starfires in his really greedy deck.
For Dalaran.
Yep, does nothing at all. That is fine. Ooh, 4-point blast wave to everything. That looks spicy, right?
For Dalaran.
Mine a room.
Like, it's literally a speed bump, that card. He needs something to go with it. 2 damage to everything will help him out. A Starfall.
What to do? I wonder.
Oh yeah, the basically turn 3 ruined him, didn't it? Kirin Tor Mage, Mirror Entity.
Mushroom power! Time waits for no one.
For Dalaran.
Like, I've really gone off Fungal Mancer. You know, it's a great card when you've got the board, but when you haven't, it's a 2/2.
Grawl rules!
Wish I'd had that Mossy a few turns earlier. You've always got to kill Fungal Mancers, it's just the law. So again, I just think he had a badly designed deck. Like, he was probably there on turn 5, going, well, I've got a Fungal Mancer in my hand that can trigger the Mirror Entity. And he didn't want to play it, because, like, Fungal Mancer's got to be played with minions on either side. And it might not be Mirror Entity. Yeah, when you don't have any kind of board, Fungal Mancer is just complete garbage. Like, I'd much rather have a Stranglethorn Tiger than Fungal Mancer in a lot of situations. Fungal Mancer is great going first. It's like probably one of the best cards going first you could ever hope for. Going second, the exact opposite. Literally one of the worst cards you could possibly hope for. Because you never have a minion at the start of your turn.
Let the games begin.
Job done.
He's not playing Jiraxxus against us, right? I'm safe playing this Swampoos, right?
A stranger will offer you aid.
Well, Warlock is one of the few classes I will consistently go face against. Like, it's important to chip away at his life total as much as possible.
Everyone has demons.
It's not bad. 2/2 Divine Shield, I guess.
The future is now.
I guess we can work with that. Still dies to a ping, though, doesn't it?
We have many secrets.
I got this.
You just got to keep chipping away at him here. I mean, I don't have many great cards here to apply the pressure with the Scale Hide and the Spell Weaver. But we just got to keep chipping away. Get his life total down as much as possible.
Stop copying me.
Okay, former champ helps a little bit.
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
For Dalaran.
I got this.
So all the traits here mean none of these guys have more than 1 toughness. I guess he's got a Defile. Oh, I guess he hasn't. Awkward little Mossy there.
Spider senses tingling.
So yeah, awkward turn 7 lets him back into the game. Maybe Mossy does something. Ooh. If he goes face here, this will be fantastic if he goes face for 10. I can kill the 4/5 and then cube it. Cubing it with a Deathwing, that would be even better.
I wonder.
So, I mean, ideally, the 7/7 runs into the 4/5. The Scale Hide and the Ping finish off the 6/2. And he plays some more stuff. Hopefully he doesn't play any taunts or heals. If he plays a Violet Worm, yeah, it's definitely what we're going to do. He may run the 6/2 into the 7/7. Yeah, I'll take this every day of the week. And sets up a Deathwing that brings 2 worms into play. Feels good, man.
Darkness rises.
Mindless Face. Because that's all they know. I could wait a turn and take 8. Like the Sandbinder gets me an interesting elemental here. Could I think it's too good, isn't it? Well, I could still lose from that situation. I thought. So let's go with that instead. Because he's not going to want to give me 2 worms, is he? He's not going to want to kill the cube and have 2 7/7 worms pop out. Best of luck with that, Warlock. Best of luck. A second Void Lord.
Speak to me.
So even if he Deathwings himself, I've got 7/1/1s. I consider myself drained for 2. Definitely's always got to get a killing blow. We're 7-0 with Mage after finishing the last stream, 9 wins with Warlock. We're doing well. I like Mage. It's in a good place at the moment in Arena.
Medivh versus Garrosh.
Victory or death!
Let the games begin.
Tempted to chuck back the Flame Geyser just in the hope of getting one of my 2 secrets, which I think will be a massive tempo boost with the Kirin Tor Mage. I mean, Tar Creeper's obviously ridiculous going second a lot of the time. So, you know, I don't mind keeping the Mage, chucking everything else back and going for it, but these are just solid going second cards, you know, sort of allow you to stop the onslaught coming on. And we don't have to play the Mage turn 3. We don't have to do it.
I don't need any of you.
Neither snow nor rain nor witch.
Yeah, he must have thought it was a 6-2. Well, it's pretty nice mossy. sets up a blast wave if he makes a couple of tiny sort of 3-2s and stuff like that.
But they'd be thirsty. Back to work.
I don't think we can wait any longer with that. And we've still got the blast wave for finishing off the 3-4.
I wonder.
Ready to glow!
Interesting.
So the 5-5 into the 2-6 next turn. Blast wave polishes everything off. It also gives him the opportunity to maybe trade into my 2-7 here.
For the War Chief!
Yep. Perfect.
Your magic shall not save you.
I'm still at a healthy life total here, so we're just hoping to dodge some violet worms and things like that. But he's played small things so far.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor witch.
Yeah, that's great for me.
Defend the gates!
Blast wave just keeps getting better and better.
Let the pain speak to me.
One cost Deathwing, anyone? Yep, that's kind of the card we were not looking forward to. So we're going to ping that as if to say it's not Vaporize. Because if it's Vaporize, you're thinking, well, surely he goes for face if it's Vaporize. Lol. Double bluff worked.
gotta be kidding me!
I'm never playing this Swampoos until he makes a weapon. So, if he's got a Super Collider, I'm keeping that 2-2 there. Because the 1-1s are going to spawn in the middle as well. Again, I'm not in a rush. I mean, look at all this card advantage. I don't need to beat him up this turn. You know, I've got another Violet Worm. I just keep the board clear, smash his guys as much as possible. Maybe I have to think about being a bit more aggressive now my taunts are out the way, because he could make another weapon that could kill me. I could have pinged my own 1-1 and made a Violet Worm. That was an option. But a Pocket Galaxy is okay as well.
I wonder.
Mini Deathwing. Reduced cost Deathwing. Scary boy. So he really needs a weapon this turn. Perfect draw. Absolute perfect draw there. he needs a gore howl and nothing else.
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
Yeah, very big discount Deathwing, that isn't it? Well, it took me a while to do that mage quest. Well, you know, solid deck. I think the most important thing about this deck are really the 3 drops here. The mage with the mirror entity, the Tanglefur Mystic and the Tar Creeper are both fantastic 3 drops. And then you got, you know, a couple of solid 4 drops to follow it up there with the Scavenger and the Phoenix and the Steel Rage and the Water Elemental. So if you can be consistent with your early game, and then a late game that consists of 3 Violet Worms, it's like as long as you can get to the late game, you got a chance, right? I mean, it even lets you off with a little bit of sloppy play from time to time. But I think Spellbreaker's been very, very important in this run. I'd love to have a silence effect. I don't like to keep Mirror Entity going first because, you know, you're playing it on turn 3, they're drawing an extra card going second, they can easily have like an extra 2 drop or something. So it is just sitting in your hand for quite a few turns. Obviously, if you know you've got a mage in your hand, then yeah, you can keep it. Ooh, value. Now remember, he has still got the Firefly in hand, so Mirror Entity's really bad right now.
Winter is here, and it's cold.
So he must have some more elementals.
And it's cold.
Prove your worth, cur.
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
So cubing the 5/5, that's going to be a good play. Remember, we can't play the Mirror Entity until he's played his little 1-drop. That is a well-placed Mossy.
Keep up!
Smashing.
So he still has the 1-drop in hand. So it's definitely going to be anti-spell, I would say, here. And finally it comes down. we've got that combo again, Carnivorous Cube, Deathwing. Carnivorous Cube on the worm, giving you 2 worms and a Deathwing. More Fireflies.
As long as it keeps out eggs.
So he's pretty much given up on this one. Ooh.
I will show you here.
We have many secrets.
It's mine!
Another Violet Worm. Seems pretty good. So it's all about what random spells he got.
You call that a weapon?
So I don't think it's beyond the realms of the impossible to expect a Pyroblast off him. I'd rather not give him that opportunity.
My turn? My turn!
Again, this puts lethal on the board for him. Well, I guess this attacks for 1 and takes it right back off, so... So Pyroblast isn't enough to kill me, he needs double Fireball.
Locked and loaded.
Your magic shall not save you.
Feels good. Never had to resort to Deathwing. Hmm. 9-0. So basically, my last run was 9-3. This run's 9-0, so I guess that means 3 losses coming up. No new followers today. Oh, you think people would like to watch a nice 9-0, wouldn't you? Got a few new faces in chat, but no one's hit the follow button yet. So now we're getting to the tough games, right? Oh, I'm not happy about playing a paladin at 9 wins. And we're going second. This fills me with a bit of dread and despair here. A little bit of me really wants to keep that Deathwing. I've got a feeling I'm going to be using it. Both my mirror entities. None of my actual 3-drops. This could be a loss. I'm not going to lie to you. This is looking pretty grim. We need to be drawing some good cards. That's not one of them. I mean, the Blast Wave's nice. You know, Paladins typically go quite wide. Look at this fantastic 2-drop from him. Maybe he's got something to magnetize it to, which is why he did it.
I will be your doom. Ready?
Or he's got one of those. So we got a choice here. We could have gone Breath of Cindergoza, ping your guy, or we could go Mirror Entity. Now, given the fact that he played that mech on turn 2, says he doesn't have a 2-drop either. He could have had a 2-drop, I suppose. But this sets up Blast Wave. So he needs a heal. He could have Sound the Bells. He could play as well.
Reporting for duty.
Wow. What value off this Blast Wave, right? Wow, that's... I'm going to be overdrawing here a bit.
Perhaps.
I think we just do it, don't we? What? How much are we overdrawing here? Well, we only get 3 spells.
Interesting. Let's not get complacent.
I think there's a better spot. There's a better spot. I think tempo's more important. I don't care about any buffs he puts on this because of the Spellbreaker. Yeah, I think just having a little bit of the board is just better than having a load of spells right there.
What would Uther do?
But I've still got some great tempo plays. I've got the Swampoos and the Spellbreaker and the Mage into the Mirror Entity.
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
So we're hoping he doesn't have a Stegodon enchantment this turn. But he is at 9 wins, so... Oh, found my cube target. I mean, I could just silence it as well, but I think silence is just... Oh, okay, we're not going to get that opportunity. That's a shame.
We have many secrets.
I will show you here.
But this is definitely the time to play it when he gets to 8 mana. Just stops him from playing a worm this turn. There's the Steed, that's going to hit the Spellbreaker.
Reporting for duty. Your magic shall not save you.
For Dalaran.
Yeah, we have to save the Spellbreaker for that. I mean, he's got to have it at like 9 wins. There's no way he doesn't have that.
My turn? My turn!
So we do need our Deathwing. This much is obvious.
Warriors of the frozen.
Okay, that explains why is it a lot of the wins he's at. pretty much the two worst cards. I can't think of two worse cards than that right there. So hopefully he doesn't get 3 damage to everything. Or Frostmourne, that'll be annoying as well. There's the 3 damage to everything. Right on cue. Gets the best possible card. Yep, nothing you can do when you get the RNG like that. Ooh, a fireball. So, Deathwing or lose at this point. I'm guessing lose, even if I get Deathwing. Or he's got an Avenging Wrath. So yeah, we're not going to beat Lich King, double Stegodon, all that other nonsense with the bad draw we had. We drew none of our Violet Worms against him. Pretty much all of the weak stuff. It's like we needed one of our 3 Violet Worms. Even the Warbear would have helped out there a little bit. Instead, we got eaten by a Lich King.
Medivh versus Tyrande.
Let the games begin.
Get rid of Mirror Entity, immediately redraw Mirror Entity. And now we're going second again, so it's going to be another struggle. This priest is going to have probably 2 mass hysterias. Find it hard to imagine him just having the 1 mass hysteria here. Okay, it's pretty good. So we could go Scavenger next turn. Or we could go Kirin's or Mage, Mirror Entity.
As long as it keeps out arrows.
I mean, I like this play because he can't touch it with it being set in stealth. And we don't have to rush the Mirror Entity out at all.
What was lost can be found again.
Pretty good. Probably going to win him the game.
We have many secrets.
Poisonous.
Smashing burn.
And now I've drawn my own Mossy.
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a
Yeah, Mossy's pretty weak against him now with his inner fire.
My beautiful creations.
Keep up.
We might even still lose to a mind control. Because his mind controls a violet worm, and you can still Deathwing, but... like, what is it doing afterwards? I don't think we have an alternative. We've got to put something big out on the board. If he doesn't mind control it, then obviously it gives us lots of options. Ooh. Fantastic draw. 7/1/1s in the deck. Yeah, I'll just have another 7/7. Feels good, man.
I love omelets.
Hey, it's a grub.
Pain, speak to me.
So I want to keep high health on this because he might have mass hysteria. So I want to have the 7/1/1s. I don't want to have him having a way of killing it and then doing a mass hysteria afterwards.
Your magic shall not save you.
I mean, it's a nice place to be in, with all this going on and still Deathwing in hand.
Well played. It is finished. You win.
Oh, double figures. So really that game was all about him not having mind control and me having lots of violet worms and drawing them. Like, I think he wins that game with just a mind control on my first worm. Because I play Deathwing and I'm still at 12 life and he just hits me for 7, puts me to 5. And I've still got 7 1/1s that I can't deal with. Well, I can ping one, but not enough.
Medivh versus Maiev.
None can escape my fury.
Let the games begin.
Yeah, it's a bit early there, Deathwing. I'm going to keep the Water Elemental against Rogue. I mean, this card's basically the nuts, right? It's just ridiculous against Rogue. One of my 2 secrets next turn? Oh, well, I've got a couple of turns. 2 draws at a secret. Oh, even better though. Fantastic, and now I can play the Mystic instead, which is obviously a stronger 3-drop. 3/4's much, much stronger than a 4/3 on turn 3. Like, this trades with opponents' 3/2s.
A stranger will offer you aid.
Need some lucky draws for that to trigger. So this is just a better play. He can kill the 1/3 if he really wants to, but he's more likely to weapon up and kill the 3/4, which ruins his turn. If he does that, we've just got a ping on the 3/1 and then breath on whatever else he plays. And this also works for another ping next turn, and then maybe the Kirin Tor Mage. Not a secret.
I wonder. As long as it keeps out arrows.
So we don't have any annoying pingers here. Okay, and he does have a water flank. So, just one of those annoying little situations. Well, your only hope really here is Violet Worm and then run all the 1/1s into the Hydra before he kills me. Well, he won't be playing Walk the Plank on this one, but we'll see if he's got an answer. Pretty good answer. Let's see if I can draw my ooze. Yep, no way back for me here. Oh, I guess we can do that. It's not over yet. Good old spell power. First time I've actually used that there. But I still think we're pretty much dead here. Way too much tempo for him on the other side of the board, and I'm at 6 life. So all he has to do is put down one big guy that I can't kill with either of these two, and he wins. Yet more heal.
Yeah, it'll grow back.
Yep, we are dead.
Checkmate. Well done.
He hits me for 12 next turn. So what were we really looking for there? Stuff like the Steel Rage would have helped a lot. Obviously the Swamp Ooze was the #1 card there. Like, generally you don't want to be playing that Hydra against the Mage, but, you know, luckily for him I wasn't in a position to be able to ping it a few times.
Medivh versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Let the games begin.
So we're going second, so we need high tempo cards. Oh,
Hello.
I guess this is a loss then.
Hello there.
It's going to be very hard to come back from this. This is pretty much the worst it could be right here. Going second, absolute garbage hand.
The sun has set for me.
Just complete garbage. Yep.
traps. I will show you fear.
That was the one I was hoping for. I figured that was my only way back. It's pretty much always a guaranteed loss.
Rotten to my core.
Yeah, always going to be a loss going second with that shocking opening hand. And nothing you can do. The RNG just goes, you know what, you're going second, so you're already at a massive disadvantage, and I'm just going to give you the worst possible draw. My opponent's like, this guy was at 10 wins. And I'm like, yeah, but my hand's complete garbage. So what are you going to do?
Well played.
Yeah, that wasn't well played at all, was it? Because RNG just went, nope, you're not going to draw anything at 3 mana. You're not going to draw anything at 2 mana. So let's see. Let's look at the cards we would have liked to have seen there. Breath of Syndragosa, Swampoos, Flame Geyser, Runt, Scalehide, Kirin Tor Mage, Tanglefur Mystic, Tar Creeper, Fireplume Phoenix, Half-Life Scavenger. All of these cards would have given me a chance against him. Instead, what did we get? We got this half of the deck. We got a Deathwing, we got a Violet Worm, we got a Mossy Horror, we got a Stranglethorn Tiger. We just got the absolute garbage end there. So yeah, so it kind of annoys me getting to 10 wins, rolling second in the matchup, and then just rolling the wrong half of the deck. And that's how a lot of your losses in Hearthstone will come when you get up to 8 wins. Happened yesterday with the Warlock. We sat there on 9 wins, and then we just go second, so it's a loss, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because you're playing against people with really good decks, know how to play, and if they get the tempo, they're never going to lose it. Anyway guys, thanks for checking me out this run. Sorry I didn't manage anything better than that. It's been pretty quiet in chat, so I imagine most of you aren't actually there anymore, so it's a good place to wrap it up, I think. I shall go off and upload this to YouTube, and we shall see you all. I think I'll do a bit more tomorrow then. No problems. You have a good evening.